Unleash the power of networking. Boost your business. Otherwise known as 5 tips of what to do at your next networking event. I'm Mike from Sparkler Digital. Let's get after it. Okay, so the first tip is to go in prepared. I see too many people go to a networking event and treat it as if they're going to a house party. You're there to do business, and I think you need to go in prepared to try to make the most of the event. So, what do? Well, let's start with knowing your elevator pitch. Now, if you don't know what an elevator pitch is, really a 30 to 60-second speech about what you do in your business and who your ideal client is, right? So you need to know that and have it pretty well rehearsed before you walk into the event. You want to be really succinct because really, honestly, you need to know who your target customers are, right? So when you're at the event, you want to know who you want to go after and who you want to talk to at the event. And so if you know who they are and if they're going to be at the event, you want to be able to make a beeline to them fairly quickly. So know who will be at your event. Okay. So if you're going to an event for real estate agents and you want to talk to dentists, you might not want to go to that event. Okay. Tip number 2, don't be selfish. I see too many people going to events and all they do is they go right through every single person at the event, hand out their card, and make a beeline to the exit and going home. You don't want to be that person. Listen and ask questions. It's not about you, it is about them. Listen to what their needs are and who is their ideal customer. Okay. So you spend time with them. They think you're interested, and you are potentially interested in understanding who their ideal customer is. Why? Because you may know people that you could refer to them. So focus on them. Don't focus on yourself. Believe me, if you focus on them, they will reciprocate and try to focus on you. If they're intelligence at all, they'll figure it out. Okay. So you'll have your chance in the sun. Don't worry, but focus on them. Don't focus on yourself. And don't ask for a sale at the event. Absolutely do not ask for the sale. Now, I will tell you this. If you say I'm a web designer and they say, "Oh, I need a website. We should talk." Spend a little time getting their information and then move on and then refocus on them. So get their card and ask if you could follow up with them at the end of the interaction. Doesn't matter if they're really interested or not interested. You want to get their card because they may not be interested today, but they may be interested in a month or a year even. Tip number 3, master the art of the warm transfer. So let me explain what a warm transfer is. A warm transfer is that you're talking to a person and you're spending a lot of time with them, and now you need to move on to a new person to talk to, right? The key of a networking event is to talk to as many people as possible, not just to focus on just one person. I mean, there are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that is the way you need to work with an event. Okay, so bring others into the conversation. So you're talking to a person, you're going back and forth, somebody passes by, bring them in, wave them in, bring them into the conversation, and now you're having a 3-way conversation, and then you are focusing on, now this is really works if you've already talked to another person, and then you're bringing them in and say, "Hey, have you met so and so?" And then you basically are going to then politely excuse yourself. So how does this work? I'm talking to a real estate agent. We're talking about maybe the market, and somebody walks by who's an accountant, for instance, and then you casually bring them into the conversation. You say, "Do you know Bob's a realtor, local realtor?" And then that person introduces themselves as an accountant, and you say, "Oh, thank you very much. I'll see you later. I'm just gonna to walk around," or some kind of polite excuse to excuse yourself. Okay, tip number 4. Post-event follow-up. So now you've gone through the event, you've met a bunch of people, you've gotten a lot of cards. You're going to follow up with an email very next day. You're going to send out nice to meet you. This is what we talked about, because you're going to make notes on the cards if you can. And you're going to basically say, hey, if there's anything I can help you with, just give me a call. You may even try to make some suggestions about meeting up or whatever if you think it's a really good contact for you, or offering some of your referrals if you can. Okay, and then you're going to follow up with a phone call, potentially maybe a few days later. You don't want to be too eager. You don't want to be all over this person, but then you want to make sure that you're interested in continuing the conversation. Number 4, post-event follow-up. You've had a great event, and now you want to make sure you're following up with the people you talked to at the event. Start with an email, usually the next day. And in that email, you're gonna talk about how nice it was to meet them, if you see them at other events, that come up and talk to you, and basically kind of giving your elevator pitch in a much more succinct fashion in the form of an email, and saying, hey, if there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Be very, very casual about it. You don't want to be very, very eager. So then you might follow up with a phone call a few days later, and it's got to be a few days later. You can't send an email at noon and then at 3 call them up saying, hey, did you get my email? You don't want to be that person. But you follow up with a call and just say, hey, listen, just want to follow up with you, see if there's anything I can help you with. All right, really simple. And then, of course, you're going to put them in a nurture program. And that's basically going to be a drip campaign of saying, hey, adding value, information about the market. If you're a real estate agent, for instance, or if you're a web developer like we are, you might want to talk about best practices of website development and so on, whatever, right? Whatever makes sense for your business. Number 5, give value first. So first tip is to sell through, not to. So you want to provide value to them, and then you want their referrals, right? It's great if you have a sale for them, and if they need your service, they will do that. But you want to make sure that if you add value first, if they need your service, they're going to talk to you. Don't worry. Okay. So you want the referrals more than anything. And so find ways to bring them or their business value. How to bring them business? Referrals. How to add value? Information. And don't be afraid to ask for their business or referrals. Don't continually add value, but never ask for business. If you can provide a service to them, go for it. And most important tip of all, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Talk to you soon. Bye.